So in our previous discussion, we were discussing that any person who want to understand about God, if he is really serious about understanding God, then he should not think that, oh, I belong to this nation or this religion or this caste. If he is really serious about understanding love of God, then he should consider which process is practical and then he should follow it. Moving forward now. Not all, but those who are intelligent and fortunate take to this process of devotional service. We are on page number 71. Okay. So, not all, but those who are intelligent and fortunate take to this process of devotional service, 𝗃𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺𝗺, and their only desire is to serve Krishna. And this is tat sukham sukhitvam. That a devotee, he only cares about how my Lord will be pleased. And how our Lord will be pleased? When we will follow his instructions. So yesterday I was thinking on this, that you will see, if we tell any person about God, about this process of Krishna consciousness, and he got convinced and start following the process, obeying your what to say, instructions, whatever you're telling him. So you will see, you become very happy that wow, he's so nice devotee. He has accepted Krishna and as supreme personality, and now he's serving Krishna very nicely. He's striving to progress in his spiritual life. So you naturally become very happy seeing that person progressing in his spiritual journey, is it not? So, see, I was thinking that is it my false ego that I am getting satisfied because that person is obeying my instructions? But no, if you will become little aware, then you'll come to know that you are actually not instructing him to follow your words. You are instructing him to follow Krishna's word, Krishna's instructions. You're just repeating the instructions of Krishna. If you are telling someone about Krishna consciousness, that you please chant certain rounds, hear, hear something about Krishna, read books, please, whatever you are consuming, you consume it before, after offering it to Krishna. So when you are telling him all these things, so you are actually repeating the words. You are actually telling him to follow Krishna's instructions. So see, when you are becoming happy like this, you are becoming pleased to see that person following the instructions of Krishna, then how much Krishna will be pleased. Krishna always, neglects all the uh, whatever bad habits we have. Krishna always neglect all those things. Krishna never notices these things. Krishna only notices that what we are doing for him. What are we doing for him? He only notices these things. That, oh, he's so nice devotee of me. He's chanting my holy names. He's offering me his food. Although that food is of Krishna only. Krishna is giving us everything. But then also Krishna feels so much grateful with whatever services we offer to him. Krishna is like this. So yes, those who are intelligent and fortunate take to this process of devotional service. And their only desire is to serve Krishna. From early morning till late at night, the devotees are engaged in Krishna's service. This is called 𝗃𝗲𝗴𝗿𝗺, pure. For them, there is no other business. So, are you getting this point? Your only business is to serve Krishna, and Krishna will maintain you. Your only duty, your only business is to please your Supreme Lord, Krishna, and Krishna will maintain you. You really don't have to worry about other things. You only need to worry about how you will be able to chant your rounds nicely, how you will be able to, hear about Krishna nicely. We need to worry about these things. And rest, Krishna will maintain. Krishna will take care of other things. This process is recommended for all, and it is the perfection of all religious processes. 𝗃𝗏 𝗵𝗧𝗵 𝗃𝗵 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗺. In Sanskrit, there are two words, para and apara, which describe the superior, transcendental, and the inferior, material approaches to religion. So this process is for all because Krishna is Supreme Father of every living being. This one should understand. And you know what? I was reading a book. I mean, I was not reading it, but I took this book where this message of Godhead, and at the back side of this book, very beautiful point. Lord Krishna has a message for us. We are not the body. We are spiritual beings. In pure spiritual understanding, there are no designations of race, creed, color, or gender. From this non-sectarian platform, the whole world can achieve real unity and peace. So, real unity and peace will come. Are you getting this? When people will understand their relationship with God. We discussed this point yesterday also. But because people, they identify themselves with certain designations, that's why there is no real unity and peace. People are just, they are busy in disputes. They are busy in a race that I am great, you are lower than me, etc., etc. Without this understanding, the happiness we seek will never be within our reach, individually or collectively. Written shortly after World War II, this book describes how society can live peacefully in a state of God-centered communism. So you will see, this book is very nice and we will read it later in future. Message of Godhead. So message of Godhead is सर्व धर्मान परित्यज्य मामेकम शरणम व्रज. That you quit all these false identifications, all these false designations which you're identifying yourself with, and you take my shelter. You surrender unto me, and I will deliver you from all your sinful reactions. And Krishna will deliver everyone. An amazing thing is Krishna is not asking us to quit our sinful activities. He's simply asking us to quit false identifications. That I am this, I am that. No. Our only identity is that we are servant of Krishna. And any person who takes Krishna's shelter Krishna will deliver him from all his sinful reactions. So this is the perfection. It is the perfection of all religious processes. That you surrender unto Supreme Personality. So later we already know these two energies of Krishna, Para Shakti and Apara Shakti. Para is transcendental, spiritual energy of Krishna, and Apara is material energy of Krishna. So we are also Apara Shakti of Krishna. We are spiritual beings, souls. In the execution of material dharma or religion performed for material gain, people generally go to a church or a temple and pray, God, give us our daily bread. Daily bread. Actually, this need not to be asked for bread is always already provided for everyone. Yes, Srila Prabhupada tells this that we really don't have to pray for a bread from God. God is already providing us bread. I mean, food, and not only us, not only human beings, He is arranging food for animals and birds as well. Like they get their food. They get their food on the daily basis. So who is doing this? Who is arranging all these things? God, Krishna. So even the birds and beasts get their bread without having to go to church to ask God for it. So we really don't have to ask for a bread from Lord. This is what Srila Prabhupada is telling here. Similarly, our bread is also provided whether we go to church or not. That is not a problem. For no one is dying in the streets of starvation. I mean, you will rarely see any person who die because of starvation. People are dying because they eat in excess. Can you see this? Like doctor always tell people to control their senses, to control their tongue, not to consume much. But people, they overeat, and that's why they become diseased. So no one is dying in the streets of starvation, nor do we find a bird, beast, or even an ant dying of starvation. Food is there, and one need not to bother about it. I'm really loving these discussions. If the brain should be text, it should be text for Krishna or God. This is the proper utilization of time. There is no scarcity of bread in the kingdom of God. So, see, Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing on this thing that our energy, we should put our energy on planning about how can I serve God very nicely. Not only I'm doing my devotional services, but how can I help other people also so that they may also turn towards God, towards Krishna. So it's really amazing thing that if you convince any person about, serving to God, this is really amazing thing. तस्यैव हेतुप्रत्येताकोविदो न लभ्यते यद् ब्रह्मतम् उपर्यधः 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Srimad Bhagavatam says that one should try to attain that which cannot be attained by traveling all over the universe. What is that? Kevla Bhakta, pure devotion. So, are you catching this point? That one can easily get his food, one can easily get a partner, one can easily get uh, a nice house where he may sleep. He can easily get all these things. He really don't have to put lots of efforts in earning these things. He really don't have to put lots of efforts to get these things. So our all the efforts should be, we should put our all efforts in attaining the pure devotion to God. And this is the highest perfection of this human form of life, that you become crazy to get the love for God, for Krishna. Yesterday I wrote this in my status as well. What was that? That highest goal of life is to get mad in love for Krishna. That's it. Nothing else. This is the highest perfection of this human form of life. And only in this form of life, in this human life, one can get this. In other species, living entities can't understand this. See, when we are told to get mad for Krishna, why? From the very first day, like we discussed this thing on the very first day, that we are searching for happiness. But we are not getting the real happiness. Why? Because we are searching happiness in wrong things. So becoming mad for Krishna will only give us ultimate happiness. That ecstasy, that ecstatic love for Krishna can only satisfy this spiritual being. Our size is very small, very fine, but because we are fragmental part of great supreme personality, Krishna, that's why this, this to, this hunger is very, our hunger to get happiness is not limited. We are searching for unlimited happiness, which should not come to an end. And this happiness one can get when he becomes crazy, he becomes mad for Krishna to get his love. And this one cannot attain by traveling all over the universe. He can never get it by that. What? Your devotion to God. By God's arrangement, there is sufficient food. You will never find any person, especially devotees, who are starving. You will never find any devotee. Prabhuji was explaining this thing. I think I mentioned this in my last class also, previous to previous class, that any person who is serving Krishna, you will never find that person, uh, he has lack of necessities. Krishna already gives, Krishna already arranges needful for his devotees in plenty amount. There is no scarcity of anything, which is really needful for our devotional life. Now, having a big car is not a need for our devotional life or a big palace, stuff like that. So, Krishna already arranges everything for his devotees, like plentiful. There is already plentiful, which we can, use and do our devotional, practice our devotional services nicely. I will not be able to explain that point in English, probably, which Prabhuji explained. He was saying that Krishna, okay, I'll try it tomorrow, but I'll not be able to do it now. Let's move forward. So, yes, by God's arrangement, there is sufficient food, land, prospects for food on this planet. But we have arranged things in such a way that in one part of the world, people are suffering, and in another part, they are throwing grains in the ocean. Yes. See, from God's side, from Krishna's side, there is already plentiful amount of all the things, food and stuff. But it's human beings, like human beings are those people, those beings who are misusing things like that. That's why you will see in one part of the world, people are suffering from poverty and etc. etc. But and on the other part, they have so much of food, grains that they are throwing it in the ocean. So this is because like human beings are misusing things like that. But from Krishna's side, God's side, the arrangement of like there is sufficient arrangement already. So of sufficient food, land, etc. The Vedas say, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. The Supreme Person is supplying food to many living entities. Many means to all living entities. The difficulty in this material world is that we take more than we need and thus create our own problems. Do you agree with this? Maharaj was explaining this point in a way that we are lowest than even animals. Human beings are lowest than even animals. Why? You will see that any bird or animal, if they are starving, so they'll go to a place, they will consume how much is sufficient to satisfy their hunger, they will consume in that quantity. And once they are satisfied, their hunger is satisfied, they will leave. I mean, are you getting my point? But on the other hand, you will see human beings, even after satisfying their hunger, suppose like any person, he went to a party or any program. So even his hunger is satisfied, but then also he will aspire to store more food for his future. Human beings are always worried about their future. That what will happen in my future? Oh, how will I get maintained? So that's why this anxiety make them to store more, so that they may like for their secure future, they store more. You will never find any monkey to, to pack whatever food, like suppose any person, he left bananas there. So you will never find any monkey, he's putting extra bananas so that he may consume those bananas later when he will starve later in his future. Like animals never store, but we human beings, we always store. Even devotees. Just you just check your room and you will find many things in your room which are laying from years, from like they're laying from years in your room, and you're not using those things. But still you have stored those things, thinking in your mind that, oh, I will be using these things near in my future. Not now, I'm not using it now, but definitely I'll use it in my future, like near future. So we always have this tendency to store. And that's why, thus these habits create problems. Sometimes like people uh, buy grocery in bulk to save some money. We will buy in bulk and we will be storing it in our kitchen for future use. But later, after some time, you will find that the food item or the grocery that you bought, now it is perishing. Some insects, you will find some insects in your grains or all those things. So now this, again, we created problem like that. We assumed we will take grocery in bulk right now and we will use it in future. But later you will find that that extra grocery that you stored is of no use to you now because it is perishing now. So this way we create problems. This is the difficulty that we take more than we need. So especially devotees should try to not do this thing. We should always try to declutter whatever unnecessary things we have. We should always try to declutter it. We should always try to give those things in charity to other people who are really in need for those things. Like, yeah, I can see in my rooms, I don't have anything because see, the reason of me decluttering my whole room was that I didn't have much time to take care those things. If we have something, we really need to uh, take care of those things. So to get rid of this, I just decluttered my whole room. And yes, now I cannot find anything extra in my room. I have some extra books, but hopefully I will be distributing these books very soon. But yeah, we should try to do this. Problems are created by men led by the so-called politicians. According to nature's way or God's way, everything is complete. According to 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗲𝗹𝗵𝗵, Om Purnam Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udyachte Purnasya Purnam Adai Purnam Ivasisyate. Yes, the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because of this, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself because He is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗵 invocation. Invocation means Mangalacharan. So, uh, what what is being told in this verse, that as Krishna is complete, Supreme Personality is complete, so whatever he plans, whatever he do, whatever he produce is also complete in itself. This is what this verse is saying here. God is complete, his creation is complete, and his arrangements are complete. Everything is complete. See, God is perfect. So everything which is being arranged, which is being created, which is being whatever things being done by him is also perfect. That's why we need to, make ourselves remind this thing every single day, that whatever is being done in our lives is because, like, there is Krishna's perfect plan behind that. He always wants his devotee to learn something from whatever happens in our lives. So, whatever is happening in our lives, it is Krishna's perfect plan. So, I was contemplating on this thing, that why, like, I would have been practicing my devotional services from my very childhood. It would be very nice now if I would have been practicing Krishna consciousness from my very childhood. But no, later I realized that no, if, like, I got association of devotees at this time, so this was only good. I was really realizing on this point. Because we always learn from our mistakes. So whatever mistakes we did in our past, so we learned from that. And that's why we are able to give our nice, like, not complete, I will not say full or complete, but yeah, as much as possible, we are giving our best in whatever services we are practicing, whatever devotional services we are practicing for Krishna. So we should always see Krishna's hand in our life. And if we will practice to do this, then you will see life will become easy. Life will become easier. There will be no scope of anxiety, because you will know that, oh, if this happened with me, so Krishna is very much aware of this thing. And nothing is beyond the control of Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate controller. So if this happened with me, so Krishna's hand is there in this. So I will accept it. I will honor it, assuming it Krishna's plan. So yes, God is complete, God is perfect. So whatever being made, whatever being arranged, whatever being created by him is also perfect. But we are creating disturbances. Real education is that which makes people Krishna conscious, so that they will properly utilize the resources of the earth and stop creating disturbances. So, yes, people are assuming this thing only, that this thing belongs to me, or this thing belongs to that person. So, why will I take care of that thing? Because that thing does not belongs to me, it belongs to him. So, I will not take care. Just like, for an example, like, I'm remembering this incident. Once there was a college trip. So, we went on a trip. Then later, that bus stopped at a hotel. So there we like we visited that hotel for the sake of consuming some food. So there was a basin, washing basin. So there tap was open. That tap was running, like water was leaking from that tap, and no one was noticing it. But one of my friends, she went there and she saw that, oh, this tap is leaking. So uh, she turned off that tap. Now it was not leaking. So I was, that time also I was thinking that, wow, what she has a really nice consciousness, nice etiquette. Means she was not thinking that, oh, this property is not mine. If even that tap is leaking, water is leaking from that tap. So who cares? No one is caring. So why should I care? Let it leak. But no, she went there and she turned off that tap. Another example which I'm remembering, which one of the teachers from the college, she gave this example that there were two people, they were nice friends. So one person was very intelligent and one another person was average in studies. So later, after completing their studies, they got their job, and one person who was average in studies, he he got a very nice job, very nice job, very nice package. And another person who was very intelligent in studies, he was like he was still searching for a job. Like even after getting a job, he was fired from that job and he was now searching for a job, even though he was intelligent in studies. So later, when he met his friend who was average in studies and got a very nice job, so he was talking with him. So, he was sharing, I mean, they were sharing their incidents where, like, once when they were sitting in room, so fan was running in that room. So that person who was average in studies, when like everyone left from that room, I mean, I'm paraphrasing this story. So when everyone left from that room and he was the only person who was there in the room, so he switched off the fans. I mean, switched off the fans, and then he left the room. But another person who was very intelligent in studies, he was assuming that, oh, these fans does not belong to me. This property does not belong to me. Then why do I really have to care about turning off the switches of the fan? So he left those fan running like that only, and he left the room. So what I'm trying to explain here, that these things makes big difference. That when we think that this property, these resources, like I should also, like when we think like this, that these properties or these resources are does not belong to me, then why should I really have to care about those resources or property? And this way, people, they are not able to properly utilize the resources of the earth, which have been given by God, which creates disturbances. So yes, because of this reason, the story which I shared. So because that person, he was not caring about, those running fans, he just remained those fans running and he just left the room because he was assuming that this property does not belong to me, etc., etc. That's why he remained backward because he was not utilizing the resources nicely, assuming that this property does not belong to me. Then why do I really care? Why do I really have to care about it? But that another person who was average in studies, because he was respecting everything, the resources, the property, even though those properties or resources does not belong to him, but then also he was respecting. So that's why he was forward. He got a nice job and he was he got the success in his life. So these things makes differences. It is not possible to solve problems by passing resolutions in the United Nations. One must know the actual method of solving problems. So we will read more because we have more time. 𝗲𝗵𝗵 Goswami says that simply by pure devotional service, one can solve the problems of life. Every problem can be solved if person is serving Krishna. Just note this down. Every difficulty, every problem of your life will be solved if you simply serve Krishna. This is the solution of all the problems. You might have seen this advertisement where, like one lady, she advertises a shampoo, hair shampoo, hair fall, this, that. This defect, that defect in your hair. So 5 problems, 1 solution. She advertises like this. I don't know if it is still going or not because it's been too long since I haven't watched a TV and I don't want to watch a TV. So yes, she advertises. She used to advertise like this: 5 problems, 1 solution. And now I am advertising. I'm not advertising, but yeah, this is true. All the problems, 1 solution. Like unlimited problems, but there is 1 solution. Pure devotion to Krishna. I will make a nice quote on this. Really nice quote. Unlimited problems of life, but 1 solution of those unlimited problems. Pure devotional service to Krishna. Who can do this? It is not possible for an ordinary man, but for those who are Vasudeva Parayana, devoted to Lord Krishna, Vasudeva. Only those whose concern is to satisfy Krishna and who take to pure unalloyed means pure, devotional service can solve the problems of life, like unlimited problems of life. Now, problem is that people who assume this cheaply. Like, how is this possible? Only devotional to Krishna can solve all the problems of our lives. So people who takes this cheaply, they just they just keep on struggling with their lives like that. But any person, that's why I see 𝗲𝗵𝗵 Goswami is saying this. It is not possible for an ordinary man who takes devotional services for cheaply. but for those who are Vasudeva Parayana, devoted to Lord Krishna. And we discussed this point in our today's afternoon class as well, that the topmost qualification of a person to understand Bhagavad Gita is that he should be a devotee of Krishna. Devotee means he should have faith. Shraddha is there. Shraddha should be there. Faith. So yes, only those whose concern is to satisfy Krishna and who take to pure unalloyed devotional service can solve the problems of life. Now the rest part we will be discussing in our next class if Krishna is willing. We will stop here now. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.